Akin was a great hunter, known for his skill with the bow and his habit of speaking too freely. One day, deep in the bush, he stumbled upon an old, weather-beaten skull lying beneath the roots of an ancient Iroquois tree. Akin stops and examines the skull, kicking it gently with his foot, and said this might be a sad end for a fellow man. Tell me, old bone, what great evil or ill fortune brought you to lie forgotten in this desolate place? The skull's voice is hollow and clear, startling. Akin talking brought me here. Akin leaps back, dropping his bow. He stares wide-eyed at the skull. Did you just speak? An inert skull spoke to me. This is the most incredible thing in all the world. The Oba must know immediately. I will be hailed as the greatest discoverer in the land. Akin scrambles, picking up his bow and running toward the village, leaving the skull behind. At the royal court, the Oba sits on his throne, looking unimpressed. Akin is kneeling before him, breathless. The chief guard stands beside the Oba. Akin speaks out, Great Oba, king of all the land, I have seen a marvel. A miracle. A talking skull. Oba scoffs Akin. You are a good hunter, but prone to exaggeration. A talking skull. The heat has touched your mind. Akin said, it is the truth, my king. I found it by the great Iroquois tree. I asked what brought it there, and it replied, talking brought me here. The Oba said if this were true, it would be the greatest wonder of my reign. But if you lie, you have wasted the king's time and made a fool of yourself before my court. The punishment for such a lie is death. Akin swear on my ancestors, it is true. Send your guards with me. I will show you. Oba nods his head, very well then. Chief guard, take 20 men. If the skull speaks, Akin shall be rewarded with 3 wives and a palace. If it remains silent, cut off his head and bring me his body. Go. Akin, the chief guard and a group of soldiers exit and travel back to the forest. When they get to the Iroquois tree, Akin kneels excitedly beside the skull. The chief guard and the soldiers stand stiffly, observing what will happen. Akin whispering to the skull and said, Speak, friend. Speak. Tell them what you told me. But the skull remained silent. Chief guard said to the hunter, We do not have all day. Command it to speak now. Akin lowered his voice nervously, Great skull. I brought these men so they could hear your wisdom. Tell them what brought you here. The skull remains silent, the only sound is the buzzing of insects. Akin desperately pleading, Please. I am staking my life on your words. Please, tell them that talking brought you here. Silence. The sun begins to set. Chief guard drawing his sword and said, Enough. The Oba's time has been wasted, and the Oba's command is clear. Akin, you lied to the king. Prepare yourself. Akin said, but he repeat again, but it did speak. Why won't it speak now? The chief guard replied, It seems talking brought you here too. Immediately the chief guard executes Akin. The soldiers wrap the body and leave the head of Akin beside the talking skull and begin to march away back to the palace. The skull and the newly severed head of Akin are now alone on the ground. Silence reigns for a long moment. Then the talking skull slowly turns toward the head of Akin's skull and said, Fellow man, I warned you about telling secrets. Now that you are here beside me, lying silent in the desolate bush. Now tell me what brought you here. The head of Akin's voice is muffled, yet clear. Akin's head replies, Talking brought me here. The talking skull now laughed and said, Be cautious, the forest is full of secrets, and some truths are best kept buried. The tongue is dull and small, but bear it in mind that is a dangerous weapon. Here comes the end of my story. Hope you learned something from the story. Thanks.